if you regularly work out in the gym and you started to look into healthy eating, but you realize that there's just so many different people telling you different things, don't worry, because this is the video for you. Stick around until the end, and I'll show you 5 of the best foods to build muscle, and the last one is the best. So, getting straight into it, the first food to build muscle is chicken. You might have heard this elsewhere, it's very common, but both chicken thighs and chicken breast are incredibly useful for building muscle because they have a high amount of protein, and specifically chicken thighs are calorically dense, so they're good for bulking, whereas chicken breasts are good for cutting. That's a distinction we have to make because bulking is trying to gain muscle and cutting is trying to lose fat and maintain muscle. So when you're bulking, you need to have higher calories than when you're cutting. Chicken thighs have higher fat and probably the same amount of protein as chicken breast, so they're better for bulking. But chicken breasts are better for cutting. So yeah, that's it for chicken. The next food is salmon. Now, salmon is so good because it's versatile and also it has, along with a bunch of vitamins such as vitamin D and fish oils, it's like those are already very powerful for muscle building because they boost your hormones. It also has a lot of protein, a lot of healthy fats, so it's great for bulking. It's for cutting, depending on where you find it, it can have higher or lower fat. So again, it can be useful for both bulking and cutting. But salmon as well can be prepared in so many different ways. It's just so versatile. You can have sushi, you can have poke bowls, you can just have baked salmon, you can have fried salmon, whatever suits you. And really, it was the same with chicken. But these foods are very versatile and you can prepare them in so many different ways. Pretty much all of these foods that I mentioned are very very versatile and very uh, widespread. So basically, there's a lot of methods of cooking them, and you're sure to find one that you're gonna love eventually. So the third best food to build muscle is steak. Now, steak is amazing again because it's one of those foods that gives you very high dose of those vitamins or those micronutrients and minerals such as iron and I don't know which other ones it gives you, but like vitamin B12 or something. So these are again incredibly powerful for your hormones, but steak can have there's different types of steak. Okay, so there's some with high protein and high fat, and there's some with high protein and low fat, which again, these foods I've all picked because they're suitable for bulking and cutting. This is incredible for bulking if it's a high fat steak because it gives you so much protein, so much fat, pretty much no carbs, so it's good for your brain power as well. This type of food is what should be in your everyday consumption because it's very, very good for you. And a lot of people say, like, oh, it's saturated fat, not good for you, but that's really what builds your hormones and what gives you like testosterone and stuff is cholesterol. So it's actually good for you. And then again, there's lean steaks as well, which have less of it, and they also are better for cutting because they have less calories. So they're just good in that aspect that you can have your cake and eat it too. You can have steak and be cutting, if that makes sense. And the fourth food to build muscle is eggs. Now this is one that's talked about a lot, and for a good reason. It's the probably one of the best foods to build muscle because you're just it's incredible. Okay, eggs have again this cholesterol which a lot of people will say is bad for you, but actually is good for you because of the its effect on your endocrine system, on your hormones. And eggs have a crazy amount of protein, a pretty good amount of fat, if you want just a protein, you can opt for egg whites, which, like, again, egg whites are great for cutting, eggs are good for bulking. They're not that good because they're not that high calorie, but they are pretty high protein, pretty high fat. So it's a pretty good option. And once again, eggs are very versatile. You can make them in so many different ways. You can eat scrambled eggs, you can eat boiled eggs, fried eggs, egg whites, whatever suits you, right? And all of these are just as healthy as each other. Again, eggs you can also have with other things, in your omelette, for example, or in your fried eggs. It's just such a versatile food, and it's very good and an underrated health food, I believe. In fact, one of the more underrated foods for building muscle. Now, the last food that I've saved to last because it's the most overlooked and one of the most important is cheese. Cheese, there are thousands of varieties, but some are better than others, obviously. My favorite ones are halloumi, camembert, mozzarella, and I don't know, but those three are pretty good. They're all very high protein, very high fat. So this is the only one that works strictly for bulking, but it's probably the best one for bulking. It's the most calorically dense. Like, cheese can have like 600 calories per 100 grams. And if you know anything about fitness, you'll realize that is a lot. So cheese is very calorically dense, very high protein, very high fat. And again, we've already discussed the benefits of protein and fat. Actually, I haven't discussed the benefits of protein, but it's pretty obvious, isn't it? Because protein is what is used to build muscle. So I just assume that you'd look out for protein in foods. And you should. But fats and carbs are all arguably the same level of importance, as well as just calories. And it's not all about calories, obviously, but macronutrients are a pretty good indicator of the food's health. However, that's why most of the foods I've mentioned today also have great vitamin benefits, great micronutrients, minerals, vitamins, etc. And your actionable step for this video is so that you don't just get nothing from this video and go to the next video. Try to implement one of these foods every day. So it doesn't have to be the same food every day, but have one of these 5 foods every day and realize the effect on your muscle building progress and your muscle growth. It's gonna be more than you'd expect, and maybe you'll start to incorporate these foods more and you like one of them so much that you start eating it consistently, and that would be great for you. So that's it for today. Follow my Patreon, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and embrace progress, not perfection. See ya.